Monday, May 20. Spain will be the first to report on important economic events this week. At 11 o'clock, it will report on the trade balance, an indicator that reflects the difference between the country's exports and imports and capital flows over a period of time. The impact of the trade balance on euro quotes is ambiguous. It depends on the context of economic cycles and other indicators, such as GDP dynamics. At 11:30, traders will learn about the unemployment rate in Hong Kong for 3 months. Unemployed, in this case, means people over 15 who have not had paid employment for the last 7 days. Indicator values are not subject to seasonal adjustment. Their growth is higher than expected, which indicates a decline in the purchasing power of the population, which in turn may negatively affect the quotations of the Hong Kong dollar. Tuesday, May 21. At noon, Eurostat will report the Eurozone's trade balance. When exports exceed imports, economists speak of a trade surplus. This means a high level of production development, and the region produces more goods and services than it can consume. The impact of the value of the trade balance on euro quotes is ambiguous and depends on the context of business cycles or other economic indicators, such as dynamics. Also on Tuesday, Canada will release the Core Consumer Price Index at 15:30. This index, which reflects the change in the cost of a fixed basket of goods and services in the reporting month compared to the previous month, is a key indicator from the perspective of consumers. It's important to note that due to its high volatility, food and energy are excluded from the calculation. The growth of this index can potentially have a positive impact on the quotes of the Canadian dollar. Wednesday, May 22. The United States will release sales in the secondary housing market on May 22 at 5 p.m. The calculation includes only closed transactions in secondary sales of detached single-family homes, apartments, condominiums, and cooperatives. The indicator characterizes the strength of the housing market and its total demand. Its growth can positively affect the quotations of the U.S. dollar. At 19 o'clock, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand will announce its decision on the interest rate. The regulator's interest rate is the value at which it gives loans to commercial banks. Setting this rate is one of the main instruments of monetary policy, with the help of which the Reserve Bank of New Zealand regulates the strength of its currency. The growth may positively impact the quotations of the New Zealand dollar. Thursday, May 23. Market players will pay attention to New Zealand on Thursday. At 1:45, a report on retail sales will be published. Retail sales are often called consumer spending indicators, and they are used to assess the level of inflation in New Zealand. The growth of retail sales may positively affect the quotations of the New Zealand dollar. At 4 o'clock, the Bank of South Korea will announce its interest rate decision. The decision is made at the meetings of the regulator's Monetary Policy Council and published immediately after the meeting. It is among the country's most important economic events. An increase in the interest rate leads to an appreciation of the South Korean won, while a decrease leads to a depreciation. Friday, May 24. On Friday at 3 o'clock, Singapore will report on the gross domestic product growth rate. It represents the percentage change in the total value of all goods and services produced in the country during the reporting quarter compared to the previous quarter. The indicator values are provided with seasonal adjustment. Its growth may favorably affect the quotations of the Singapore dollar. Canada will be the last to report on important economic events in the coming week. At 15:30, the market expects the retail sales report. This is a key monthly indicator of consumer behavior in Canada and an important component of GDP. The Bank of Canada partially relies on the indicator when making interest rate decisions. A slowdown could negatively impact the Canadian currency.